Okay, the next feature that we're going to talk about is what we call the skill-based approval process. This allows us to embed the Leaptree scorecards within our daily work streams and allows us to apply real-time auditing to transactions before they reach certain stages. The idea behind that is to ensure that we catch any potential bad experiences up front, and we don't have to wait for our monthly or bi-weekly audits to happen and find out after the fact that there's been a potential issue. So in this scenario, we've got a rep called Aaron. He's a customer services rep, but he has only been with the company for 3 or 4 weeks, so we do know that he's fairly green. As part of our approval process, we have identified a range of accounts who we would deem to be particularly sensitive, and we want to make sure that we are auditing all of the cases that Aaron completes for these particular accounts before they get closed. And that will enable us to pick up any potential bad experiences on these sensitive accounts before the transaction is fully completed. So we've got an account here called Yadel. We know that they're a sensitive account because they have recently returned a CSAT rating of 2. That's not particularly good. So we have confirmed that agents with a level of 1, and in this particular case that's going to be Aaron, that we have to audit all of the cases that are going to be closed under this particular account where Aaron has been the owner on those cases. So what we'll see from Aaron's point of view, if he tries to close out a case, now it doesn't necessarily need to be on closure, it could be potentially on any move to any stage. We've actually combined the Leaptree product with some standard Salesforce functionality here, like validation rules. And we've been able to create validation rule here that if Aaron saves the record and tries to close it, that it will come up with a warning telling him that he has to submit this for approval. Okay, so Aaron will then come over to the right-hand side here where he sees the submit record for approval tile. He'll hit this button and that record has now been submitted to the quality analyst for evaluation. So if we log in as the quality analyst now, I'm in the My Pending Scorecards queue. If you had omni-channel configured, it would be able to pop up so that real time your quality analyst will know that this work item is pending and needs to be done in order for Aaron to continue moving on with his work. That is our recommended approach, that you would configure omni-channel so that that scorecard then automatically pops up for the QA evaluator. So I've gone to the case in question here. I can see that it's against Yadel. I can have a look at the case. I can look through any emails, call logs, or text posts that might have been sent to the client just to make sure that I'm happy. I can look through all of the related documentation. And then what I can do is I can go across to the complete scorecards here over the right. I'll click on the play button and I'll start the evaluation. So is the resolution that the agent is proposing correct? Yes, it is. Has the agent communicated appropriately through the interactions with the customer? Yes, he has. Complete the scorecard. And then finally, the last question it'll ask me, do I want to approve this scorecard for the related case? I'm going to say yes. Okay, so now if we come back to Aaron, we'll have a look at the record now, and we can see that the case closure is now statused as approved. So that means now whenever he goes through here to status this as closed and hit save, okay, it's closed it for him, no problem. And we'll just have a very quick look at how we have implemented that solution in at the back. So we have what we call, within our optimized settings, we have this skills management piece. And this piece is actually a user interface that surfaces the standard Salesforce skills module. So I have created a number of skills here. I've created customer service skill, and I've assigned that customer service skill to Aaron at a level of 1. And that just means that he's a beginner. Now, as of when I decide to increase Aaron's skill level here, it will change the percentage of scorecards that have to be completed against each of the cases for those nominated accounts that we have looked at. So if we go through the skill-based approval process and have a look at what we've created here, and what we're saying is the process runs off the case object and it uses scorecard type case closure approval. And that just means that has questions that are specifically related to the closing of the case. We've chosen here that we're going to take either VIP accounts or accounts where the CSAT rating is less than or equal to 3. And because and this is using the skill, the customer services skill, and because Aaron is at a level 1, then we want to score 100% of his cases to make sure that they have to be audited by a person before they get approved or for closure. Once he reaches level 2, then we'll only want to do 75% of those transactions, and actually the other 25 will auto approve, and so on. So as he improves in his ability, you'll see that the percentage of items to be reviewed drops. We're going to assign it to a specific user. In that case, it's me. And we're going to ask the specific question at the end of the scorecard. Do you approve this scorecard? Yes or no? In other scenarios, you may just have it so that if it reaches 100%, then it's a yes, and it will allow him then to complete. And if you have a look here now, we have the post-approval steps. These items here are the parts that are essentially controlling the validation rules. So if it gets approved, then we'll update the closure approval status to approved. If it is rejected, then we'll update it to rejected. And the validation rule kicks in if it is either blank or it's rejected, then it will not let Aaron, in this particular example that we saw, close out the case. So essentially we're forcing it so that the case has to be approved before it can be closed. So that's a nice way of working with Leaptree and the Salesforce admin team to just embed quality as part of your daily processes and not just make it a monthly exercise.